there I was with my hairy ass hanging out the hospital bed. The nurse was across the room, sticking on her gloves and lubing up the steroids. Yes, that is where they get inserted. This was back in January 2023 for the worst flare-up I've ever had in my life. I was literally in hospital for 8 days, and the first 4 days they had me basically shitting in one of them like cardboard hat things to see if my inflammation would reduce. At the time, they was intravenously shoving steroids in my system, hopefully because they're supposed to be really effective at reducing the inflammation really fast. Well, after 4 days, it wasn't actually reducing. So this is when the doctor come in and said, right, we need to reduce the inflammation as fast as possible, because at the minute, it's not. And if we don't reduce the inflammation, you're most likely going to lose your large colon. So the next step is to get steroids, and we're going to have to insert them up your butt. So obviously, this is the lowest of low moments. I've been kicked twice. The first time is, oh, you might have to remove your large colon. The second time is you've got to have steroids up your ass. So there I was thinking, holy shit, I really need to sort myself out. If I don't find a solution to healing my UC, I'm going to end up with one of them stoma bags where literally it's there constantly, and I'm going to have to shit in that bag, emptying it a few times a day with it gurgling and farting and doing whatever it needs to do. How embarrassing and degrading will that be? And don't get me wrong, if you've got to have the operation because it's going to save your life, but this isn't the fact of it saving my life. This is the fact that the doctor has basically let me down over the 12 years I've had UC, telling me that it's incurable, telling me food doesn't affect it, telling me that the only way to get in remission is on medication. Well, I'm sorry, but that's fucking bullshit. And it's been going on too long that the doctors now, I've lost all respect for them. I don't listen to the doctors, and I don't want them to give me advice because I believe that the only advice that they can give is how to give you medication, how to symptom manage. They don't fucking care. They don't care about you. How many times have they neglected you? How many times have they told you something that, has actually made you feel worse? Because that's all they know. So, me in that moment, I thought to myself, I am going to find the solution to healing my UC naturally. I am not losing my colon. You can shove that up your fucking ass because it's not happening. Then over the course of the few months after that, I was researching, testing things out. And then it come to August 2023, I started the carnivore elimination diet. And I'd say within the last 22 months, I've been symptom-free and med-free from a UC. Now, how does that make sense if food doesn't trigger and food doesn't react and you only need medication, but yet I've been in clinical remission for now 22 months. Now, I did make many mistakes on the carnivore diet. One of them is just following all the advice that they seem to just want to throw out there. Just eat meat and that's it, you'll be fine. But that wasn't the case, and it's definitely not the case for people with UC. Maybe if you've got something else, maybe if you've got arthritis, diabetes, other things that the carnivore diet is great for, but with UC, we've got so many different things that are underlying that you need to take a bit of a outside the box approach, even with the carnivore elimination diet. That is why I've created the 90-day regenerative UC healing protocol. It's a top link in the description, and it shows you step by step how to get in remission as fast as possible so you can get off these fucking medications. But what I'll do is I'll go into a few details of how I fixed my gut to help you so you can start today. The first thing I did was remove everything. So obviously I started the carnivore elimination diet. I removed everything that can irritate. Plants, fibers, sugars, processed foods, seed oils. All these things will and can irritate your bowels. So when it comes to obviously being in remission, you may think, oh, I'm not getting any symptoms. But what happens is it builds up and builds up and builds up. Well, as you're eating stuff, it will slowly build up. It's like a jug of water. You constantly fill it up and fill it up, fill it up. It will spill over the edge. So you may be in remission now. You may be thinking, oh, I've got no symptoms. But if you're eating stuff that's irritating, it will send you into another flare. So removing all things that can and potentially will put you in a flare up. The next stage is figuring out which meat is best for you. Now, this comes down to obviously your personal preference and how it basically settles in your stomach and how it goes through your digestive tract. But for me, ruminant animals have always been the best. I have never ever disagreed with like beef. The reason it's called ruminant is because it has to go through more than one stomach. So even if the animal's fed a shit diet, generally by the time it gets to the meat, it's all clean and it's a lot better for you. So eating in ruminant meat, it's been best for me, but this is where you've got to trial and error, figure it out for yourself. Is it slow cooked chicken? Is it pork? Or is it lamb? Or is it anything you can possibly think of? Just try and figure out which meat is best for you. This kind of brings me on to the next thing, where it all kind of intertwines with each other. You removed the toxins, you removed the irritants, you're eating nutrient-dense, lovely meat. Then this brings me nicely onto the next thing, where it is basically you're tracking the symptoms. So you eat something, you sit down, you let it settle, and you think, okay, how's that reacting in my system? Over the course of a few days, few weeks, few months, you'll come to realize what foods are really good for you and which ones aren't. And noticing in them small little triggers and them small little tracking things will help you progress later on when you are into the next phase of healing. So next thing you do is you work on your triggers. This could be any sort of event that's going off. So for me personally, when I used to get like confronted or used to get like in a nervous situation where I felt like I was like going to be confronted or anything like that, it used to instantly trigger me to urgently go to the toilet. Now, I never realized these triggers when I first had UC. I kind of just didn't really accept them. I didn't really see them. I didn't anything. So these are ones that are actually quite very important. These are the things that you've got to realize that you say to your mental state. So if you're in a situation and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I need to go to the toilet, that's when you start blaming other things. Oh, it's this food, it's this, another. In actual fact, it could have been the same thing that you was thinking about. It could have been thinking about meeting up with people. It could have been the fact that you was going to go and speak to someone that you've not spoke to in ages. But they've caused an instant trigger and you've had to run to the toilet. So figuring out your triggers was the next step for me, making sure that I was healing. And then as time progresses, you research more, you get into more things. And I've gone down rabbit hole past rabbit hole and rabbit holes, trying to figure out certain root cause like healing. And what I found out is that UC have many things that are underlying compared to someone else. So when you think you're just trying to heal one thing, in actual fact, you're trying to heal loads. That's why medication itself would never ever cure you, because all it does is symptom manage. It doesn't get to the root cause healing like histamine, SIBO, leaky gut. Then it doesn't go into like maybe MCAS, symptomatic inflammation, all these things that your body could be going through because it's been in such a bad state for so long. And as soon as you have a flare, you go into fight and flight, which basically means your body's fucking wanting to get out of it. They're putting you in a stressful state because it needs you to fight or flight. So then what happens is that causes such an inflammation everywhere else in your body, and it can trigger so many different immune responses. So getting to the root cause is about finding all the underlying issues that happen when you've got UC. And then this brought me on to nicely what I've just been talking about is the root cause healing. Until you get to root cause healing and find out what it is that's triggering these flares, you'll keep having flares. Like I'm one of these people that just had a flare after flare after flare. Didn't matter if I was on medication or not. After a certain while, I think, oh, I'm doing great. Next thing you know, within the space of a few weeks, I'm having another flare back on the medication. And even while I've been on harsh medications, I've still been flaring because it hasn't been getting to the root cause of why I'm having these flares. Now, let me know in the comments below if you've ever had to be admitted to hospital because you've had such a bad flare, or the doctors have basically threatened to remove your colon if things don't get better. If you wanted to know how to heal properly, first link in the description, because it talks about everything we've just been gone into, but in a much more deeper, like research sort of way. That's going to give you a clear, concise, step-by-step process to get in remission as fast as possible. See you again soon.